I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have much history with this show back in the day. It came on HBO, it came on late at night, and the times I did watch it and try to figure out what the hell was going on, it was immediately after an ass whooping by my mom, so I don't have much history with this show. But looking back on it, this show really wasn't a show for kids. I do remember reading the comic books back in the day, but I didn't watch the show that much. But it wasn't for kids. A lot of these stories were about relationship issues with women doing crazy shit to their husbands. We were kids. We didn't know anything about that shit. We just liked the fucking art from the comics and all this crazy shit going on. But if we really knew what was really going on, we'd be like, holy shit. But I've gotten older. I've seen some of these stories, and this was a damn good show looking back on it. But it was one motherfucker on this show I think I'll never forget.
Fiends, and welcome to the Crypt. Tonight's sordid saga is about a couple of kids with time to kill.
Like, what the hell is he? He looks like Yoda after 10 years of chemotherapy. He speaks as if he returned from the dead. But the nigga was the perfect host. I mean, he fit the whole suspense and thrill and mysteriousness and awkwardness in comical sense to the show so vividly, they could have found anybody else better than this guy. He was perfect. Perfect host. I was scared before I even knew what the damn stories were about. That's how good of a host this guy was. This show too, it showed a lot about people, I realized too. It was 3 stories in particular that I wanted to review. These stories are Undertaking Parlor, Dead Wright, and The New Arrival. So, are you ready to enter the Crypt of Horror? Let's begin. In Undertaking Parlor, we find 4 teenagers who dare each other to film their own horror movie by filming a dead body who ends up being their dead librarian. Man, sometimes when I look back on how adults saw kids back in the day, they didn't know shit. Who the hell knows who their librarian is at 13? But as they get footage of the body, they also catch this mortician, I'm assuming, who's on his weird shit. He starts sledgehammering her face in, talking to her, and doing other Jeffrey Dahmer shit that would make you want to puke out your brains. While he answers the door, the kids escape, but the one fat virgin stays behind. As he's hiding under a table, he overhears that a doctor prescribed her a medicine that will kill her just so they can get money for her funeral. The next day, they randomly find out that one of their friends, Josh, his dad died from the same doctor, so now they want to use the camera to frame him.
Snakeskin shoes.
Our mission is to try to get all the evidence on tape that
so we can
can
fry this son of a bitch. Yep.
We know some or all of us may be killed by the time this is seen. I hope that whoever finds this tape will bring it to the right person.
Let's go.
When they get into the doctor's mortuary room, they catch the mortician using the poison the doctor created on him. The fat guy comes out, and then they have a standoff until they push the librarian's stretcher on the mortician, which makes him run into a machine that sucks out his organs.
Fox. Yeah.
That's for my father, you asshole.
Damn. I would have just shot Chunk's fat ass if I was gonna go out like that. I mean, that's fucking insane. Anyway, at the end of this story, Josh gives up on his film career, and all the rest of the kids become lawyers. Now, how they became lawyers after killing somebody, I can't understand, but they became lawyers. Quick question, do any of y'all have kids? If so, are they just some rotten little bastards you just want to fucking kill? Maybe they just need psychological help. So, call this next guy. In the New Arrival episode, there's an award-winning child psychologist, Dr. Alan Gertz, who's given the title as a great psychologist, but really he's an asshole who doesn't know shit about kids. The producer of his radio show, Rana, tries to stop him after he agrees to visit the house of an abnormal child named Felicity. As soon as they get to the door, Rama, Dr. Gertz, and the radio worker all see how crazy Felicity really is.
That's me, Felicity's mommy. Oh, hell, she's doing it again.
If I was Dr. Gertz, I would have just changed my title from child psychologist to clinical psychologist. Cause there's no way in fuck I could deal with some shit like that. Once Dr. Gertz gets inside the house, you'll immediately see he has no idea what he's gotten himself into. He tells the mother, Nora, that she doesn't know Felicity as well as he does because of his educational background. After she tells him that he's wrong, he, Rana, and the radio worker all go upstairs to see Felicity. And Felicity goes apeshit. Oh, wait a minute. What? Damn. Since when was Felicity an invisible assassin? Once Dr. Gertz meets her, he faces as if he's trying to solve her problem and tries to choke her to death. He then finds out that Nora really spoiled Felicity to death, and she already really been dead for 40 years. Then he finds all the dead bodies of all the psychologists who tried to cure her previously, and in the end, he realizes that he will now take his radio job much more seriously. Wow, that was a hell of a moral for that tale. It was basically saying if you're going to do something, whatever it may be, you better know how the hell to do it, Animal Planet. For the next story, do you always feel like you're right about everything you say? Like you're always trying to correct people and shit whenever you hear something they say and it sounds kind of wrong? If so, check this out.
Made a big mistake.
Dead Wright focuses on predictions. A woman, Kathy Fitch, played by Demi Moore, has hopes of changing her life, so she meets a fortune teller, Madame Vorma, who predicts that she will become rich, but first, she has to lose her job and get another one. So later on that day, she goes to work and she gets fired for coming in late after a lunch break, but gets another job as a waitress, just as the madam predicted. Once she realizes that Madame Vorma was actually right, she goes back to her and asks her if she will find a husband. Madame Vorma insists that she will, but it will be this large guy, Charlie. Since Madame Vorma tells her that she will be rich if she marries him, she decides to seduce him in hopes of her marriage becoming true. By the way, their marriage had to be just great, right? Imagine her as a housewife, but her whole motive is just to get rich off of this guy.
When we're out together, oh, I love to climb a mountain.
Honey, don't forget my BVDs.
Dance with me. I want my arm about you, the charm about you.
Just as Madame Vorma predicted, she became rich after walking into a place for being the 100th person. Then she divorces Charlie, and once again, Madame Vorma tells her something else that will happen.
He will inherit the money, and then he will die. Vorna is right. Vorna is always right.
So considering that he's John Goodman's brother, and he'll never find anyone else to marry ever again, we know what he has planned next. He sounded like a walrus's mating call. And of course, Charlie dies too.
Eaten his last meal, which we understand is the largest any death row prisoner has ever had. They're about to close the blinds. This is that was something, a violent end for a violent man.
People are fucked up, aren't they? I think that was the main question this show had to ask its audience. It's too bad we don't have horror anthology shows anymore. I think I'm gonna come up with my own. I call it The Frustrated Game Reviewers' Nightmares. Yeah, I know that was lame, but I'll be rich and you won't. Speaking of nightmares, because it seems to be a lot of them around lately, there's one nightmare in particular that really fucked with me over the years. You'll see what I mean. The next time.